This is Alan Robot Van Wert for GuitarBots.com, and now we're going to give you the arpeggio sets of musical exercises. Now this stuff is definitely going to be showing up on the jazz and neoclassical type of metal side of playing, because everybody likes those sweep arps. So that's great, but we're not focusing on the technique of sweeping in this. Obviously that could play a part in the way you're playing these arps. That's fine, because I economy pick everything anyway. But either way, it's not so much the technique as much as it is learning to get these down in all the possible variations of how these arps can be played throughout the fretboard. But obviously, we're just kind of consolidate the information down to keep it light and short. We're going to be doing it down in the position of G major, Ionian, low creen if you think about the second, fret. But anyway, here's how we do these. You're going to be taking, just like we do the other exercises, we have a set system, a set way of doing things, reversing them, twisting them around, changing the rhythm, same exact type of idea. But these are tricky because it's tough for your eyes to keep up going, especially when you get up to here. It starts messing up on that B and the G string because the tuning difference, it throws your eyes. So you have to be really careful and start learning those. So the first thing you'll do is just to set triads. Here's your major, here's a minor triad, here's another minor, major. Right, you're going to just run all these. And that's just basic default direction of playing them, right? And then you'll start doing them as every other reversed, or first reverse those. Right, and then we're going to go every other reversed. Those sound musical. They always do, and I think it's because it tricks the ear. Excuse me, I think it's because the ear doesn't see it, or hear it rather, as there's another one, it sees as, oh, wait. It's a little bit weird, and then if you take that and do the rhythm, like instead of going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All of a sudden the ear has nowhere to, it can't say, okay, I know what I'm doing. And Sean Lane used to do that stuff. I know Eric Johnson does that sort of thing with odd sets of notes too. We're just doing it by simply displacing the pattern we have rhythmically. That's all we're doing. And it's easy once you learn how to do that, then you can start ripping up over whatever tempo you want, and it almost becomes automated to where you just decide you're going to do a certain rhythm. But every once in a while you come across a really, really weird one that's tough to do that without pre-planning and programming a little bit on its own. But it gets better and easier obviously as you go through all this stuff. So that's just the triads. And again, I'm not going to go through a theory lesson on this stuff. That's totally not what this one's about, all this today, or for these sessions. So we're going to be running that, and then we're going to go to 7th chords, which are just 4 notes instead of the triad. So you take your triad, and we add one more. So we're just skipping every other note. We're going skip, skip, oops, skip. Right, so we're going to major 7. Now normally if you want to go, you can just do a full major 7, whatever, but we're not doing that. We're going diatonic. Now what this is doing, what this is doing is it's programming you to start thinking in not just instead of thinking linear, we're starting to now think the entire scale pattern here visually. We're able to hear it skipping every other note, which is pretty neat to do. That's good for music anyway. And then of course doing it backwards, which is tough because you got that big skip in the beginning of them, and then every other. Obviously, if you've been sticking around doing all this stuff so far, and you've come this far, congrats. That's impossible and insane. I couldn't imagine sight reading this stuff that fast. But then again, the way I try to get it is so you could sit there and program and practice it, and then eventually go and test yourself to do it right up to tempo with the music itself, which I think is awesome for people to be able to do that. I don't even think I can, to be honest. It's so difficult. I was messing around with it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this stuff's tricky. And if you're able to, run these in different patterns. Now, if you wanted, you could start doing them. I'm not sure if I even had these on there or not. Again, I was trying to keep it short and light. You could run these as full triad arps. understanding how they work, you'll just be able to kind of hear your way through it and pick out what's right or wrong slowly if you had to do it that way. Or obviously you could plot it out in a slower form, or most people have seen these types of forms before on the guitar. So it's good practice. Again, it's really tough, so give it your all going through this stuff. And if you're having trouble with it, trust me, I'd probably have trouble with it too, especially since I'm not used to the reading off the screen while playing thing. So I think the GuitarBots will be better for people that actually play a guitar, which is great. Alright, so that's the, I guess my tips. There's not too many tips I can give. You're getting the point, I think, as we go along with these, for the arpeggio lessons. Now there's a bunch of them on there. Take it slow, take it at your own pace. Don't go crazy and say, oh, I'm just going to skip this one. I'm never going to use a 7th chord. That doesn't make sense. You're probably doing it already and you don't even know it. So go through as much as you could do, and take it nice and slow. Relax, you know, don't go nuts. Don't throw things at your computer. And because you know what, at the end of all this, once you're accomplished and you've got all this stuff done, you're able to do my awesome Shred Etude at the end, which is tough. It is, but it sounds awesome, and you can show it off to your friends and be like, "Wow, look what I could do," and they'll say, "No way." They'll think you're like the best ever, and I'll agree, because I couldn't read that stuff off the screen that fast. It's nuts. My vision sucks, so I need glasses.